Sometimes a Lake Commando just has to test the limits.
There's one.
But taking on the first angler to win $1 million in a single bass tournament in his home state?
Oh! Ah!
Perhaps that's biting off more than any Commando can handle.
There's one.
I love fishing new water. The challenge is always the same. Find fish, trigger strikes.
Ooh, that's a big fish.
But what I really love is beating the other guy. I got a fish. This is Lake Commandos.
Late winter in the Mid-South isn't what most anglers would consider prime time for bass fishing. The weather is unpredictable, the water is cold, and the fish are inactive and finicky. But for a northern angler like Steve Pennaz, in March, any open water will do, and a tough bite against a tough opponent is just what the doctor ordered after a long winter. And there are few opponents tougher than veteran FLW Tour Pro and Arkansas native Scott Suggs.
So I woke up this morning and I realized I'm going one-on-one with Scott Suggs on a lake that I know he's done well on in the past. Now the good news is he hasn't been here for a year, and add the fact that I got a little wrinkle for him I'm gonna share with him in the boat. But Table Rock's got a great reputation. I like the fact that it's got spots, it's got smallmouth, it's got largemouth, it's got meanmouth, and there's a lot of different type of fish out here. So if the largemouth aren't going, we're gonna find bass somewhere.
The Commandos have big bass on the brain today, but this is just the first day of what is going to be a two-part Commando battle featuring bass and trout on the White River system of northwest Arkansas. Today's bass battle is on what this morning is a fog-choked Table Rock lake. A White River reservoir, Table Rock is a giant with over 43,000 acres of channels, points, and creek arms, and has a max depth of over 220 feet. And here in late winter, finding and catching fish will require what most bass anglers would consider an unusual technique.
I've got a funny feeling that these fish are going to be still in that wintertime pattern. We've had a lot of cold temperatures lately. We're probably real close to a shad kill, and so what I'm basically going to do today is represent a shad. I'm going to throw this grub head. I'm throwing it on a 5/16 ounce weight. It's just a white 4-inch Berkeley grub. It's to represent the shad. And it's a power bait. I'm gonna throw it on a 7-foot medium heavy veracity. And I like that 7-foot, and I like it in the medium heavy because I've still got that soft tip. I can feel, I can keep up with everything with this grub. I'm throwing it on 10-pound fluorocarbon, 100% fluorocarbon, so I can get the bait down and keep it down. I'm fishing a Abu Garcia Premier, and it's a 6-4-1, so I'm really gonna be turning that reel handle real slow. Basically, that's gonna be the deal today. I'm gonna be trying to, imitate a shad all day long and fish for these fish suspended out in the top of these trees. And that's what I'm gonna try to do, hopefully, to put Steve away today.
It was interesting listening to Scott in this pattern because he wanted to fish deep, he wanted to fish slow, and he wanted to fish suspended fish. And I really struggled whether I should fish something on the bottom or fish something up shallow. And I kind of went with the same way he did in terms of fishing suspended fish. I want to throw a 4-inch swim bait. This is the power bait split belly. It looks just like a shad. It's about the right size. I'm going to throw it on a 7/16 ounce head. You notice this little wire right here. That's going to help protect it in the trees because I believe we're going to be around trees today. I'm throwing it on 100%. This is Trilene 100% fluorocarbon. I'm going to fish it on a 7-foot rod. This is a medium action Veritas from Abu Garcia. I'm going to throw it on the Revo MGX. I'll tell you what, this is the rig, this is the bait that's going to take the mighty Scott Suggs down today. Wow, Scott, look at this water clarity.
Reminds you of stuff up north, doesn't it?
As guest today, you have the option of having me start or you start. So you tell me what you want to do.
With this fog like it is and everything, me knowing a little bit about the lake, I think I'm gonna start first.
All right, I'll take that.
The Commandos have typically challenging late winter conditions to deal with this morning, including air temps in the mid-50s, very cold water temps just under 40 degrees, and a pea soup fog that will hamper mobility.
God, we're right here at the bank and you can't see it. You know, this lake here, when these fish winter, they get on these channel bend swings, whether it's way back in a creek with a deep bend on it or whether it's out on the main lake. And these fish, that's where they winter.
Scott, I got a fish. I came off that tree down there.
That's exactly the deal, catching them off the top of them trees.
There's a spot. Look at that water, it's so clear. That's incredible, look at this water. I'm gonna lift him in, ready?
Oh!
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 Ah! At least I got a bite.
Not an ideal start for Steve Pennaz because he knows when you're up against an angler the caliber of Scott Suggs, you can't afford to let anything get away.
Fish?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Lake Commandos is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Trilene, anglers trust Berkeley Trilene. Abu Garcia, for life. Power Pole, shallow water anchor. Swift, silent, secure. Garmin, the clearest scanning sonar images on the water. And by Plano. Encased in thick fog on Table Rock Lake, Commandos Steve Pennaz and Scott Suggs are locked in a multi-species bass battle that remains scoreless thanks to Pennaz.
Lift him in, ready?
Oh!
Ah!
Against a guy like Scott Suggs, you can't afford to miss your opportunities. He's an 11-year veteran of the FLW Tour with 13 top 10 finishes and 2 wins, including the 2007 Forest Wood Cup, where he became the first angler to win $1 million in a single tournament.
Hey, Scott is one of the most successful tournament fishermen in the country. He's won the FLW Cup. He's placed very high in a lot of different competitions, in fact, local and national. This guy really knows how to catch bass. This point that we're fishing, you figure there's 20 bass on it or 100 bass on it? I mean, what kind of numbers do you think are on the actual point?
This is where the majority of your fish are wintering at. And there could be absolutely hundreds of them on these ledges.
Is that right?
I mean, this is where they winter.
Woo, I got a good one on, Scott. I'm gonna use a net on this one. Look at the power, even in this cold water.
Oh my gosh, big largemouth. Look at that.
Nice. Woo. Yeah, baby.
You asked me that question a while ago, which do you catch the most of? They all winter together.
If I could just have you feel this fish. It is cold, cold. That's a nice largie, look at that. On this little power grub. Fishing it super slow and super deep.
Seems like those largemouth, even catching them out here like this, it seems like they will get a little more aggressive because usually they, I don't know, there's something, usually when you catch one, there's more largemouth.
Oh, is that right?
There's usually a competition there, you know, trying to get that bait before the other ones get it. So, usually when you find those out here like this, it will be more of an aggressive bite.
You know, I'm up by 1, but I'm actually feeling pretty good. I can actually figure this out. I can get these bites and I can play this game. So I'm feeling pretty good right now. Fish?
Yeah.
Another spot? Yeah. There we go. All right. Maybe they're out on this tip, huh?
Right out here on the end of it, where we fished out here a while ago and didn't catch one. I mean, it's just slow and methodical, but my goodness. I mean, look at this. He's built a lot like me, just fat. I mean, it looks like he should have NFL written here. You want me to hold him on my toe while you punt him? What's more beautiful than that?
The fish may be sluggish and the conditions cold, but for these two commandos, the bite is starting to heat up, and this north-south grudge match is about to get serious.
Deposits can form on your injectors or carburetor, intake valve, or combustion chamber. These deposits are called knocking or pinging, hesitation, power loss, even expensive engine damage. To avoid issues with deposits, I add 1 ounce of Yamalube Ring-Free Plus fuel additive to every 10 gallons of gas when I fill up. Yamalube Ring-Free Plus dissolves harmful buildup that occurs throughout the motor. In addition, it is specially formulated to protect electronic parts and fittings in the fuel system against the corrosive effects of fuel containing ethanol. The next time you fill up, add Yamalube Ring-Free Plus to your fuel. When it comes to achieving peak performance, maintenance matters.
This segment is brought to you by Yeti Coolers. Yeti, wildly stronger, keep ice longer.
You know, the Commando format's something different. It's something I'm not used to. And to get in this boat and to have one set thing that you have to do all day, it really goes out there and it makes you become a better fisherman. It makes you really think and pay attention to what you're doing during the day.
I got a fish. I can see him out there too. Thank you, Scott. Look at this football, man. Look at this football.
The NFL football.
Look at this football right here. This fish is heavier than he looks. You can tell a spotted bass versus a largemouth. You see the stripes in here? That's a spotted bass. This looks just like a largemouth in most cases with the black stripe and everything, but that's a spot. And what a cool fish. I went with spinning gear for a couple reasons today. One, I wanted to make super long casts, so I overloaded the spool with fluoro, and I was able to make a super long cast. The other thing I did different than Scott today was he was fishing 10 pound, I went to 8 pound. Did it make a difference today? I can't say it did or it didn't, but all I can say is it helped me make longer casts and it helped me get the bait down faster, and I think that helped me in the long run. That's a good fish. This feels like it's a shorter, fatter, the head shakes are kind of more rapid. Right here, is that smallmouth? A nice smallmouth too. Look at that.
Oh yeah. Look at that brownie.
Nice bass, look at that. Boom, boom. That thing just thumped it. That's a nice smallmouth wherever you're fishing right there. That's a third species.
Yeah, that's what I was telling you about this lake. That's what's so awesome is you can catch every species out here when they're like this because they're all bass. They winter the same.
2 hours into the day, and Pennaz has the lead as the Commandos make the switch to Steve's swim bait pattern. Same locations, just a change of bait.
You fish these swim baits about the same speed?
Yeah, pretty close. You know, their tails kick a little more, so they'll ride a little higher.
But after nearly an hour without a bite and the fog finally burning off, the guys were forced to realize the swim bait was not going to get the job done today, and they decided to go back to Scott Suggs' grub plan.
There's one.
Oh no, that's number 3. What is it? Spot. Spot.
Yes. Look at there. We made a little old move, ran up the river. Wasn't really a little move. It was a pretty good long run, but it was worth it because that evened the ball game right there.
Scott Suggs is on a roll. This matchup is all square, and the time is running out for Steve Pennaz to break out of his slump.
It's been so long since I've had a bite, I don't remember what they feel like.
Lake Commandos is brought to you by Yamaha Marine. Reliability starts here. Yeti, wildly stronger. Keep ice longer. Fraybill. Berkeley Power Bait. Fish bite and won't let go. And by Abu Garcia for life. On Table Rock Lake in northwest Arkansas, Commando Steve Pennaz is locked in an all-square winter bass battle with fishing's first $1 million man, FLW Tour Pro, Scott Suggs.
Scott, I got a fish. It's heavy too. That's a mean mouth. This is a unique fish. If you look at this, it has the characteristics of a spot, but it's also got the characteristics of a smallmouth. This is a hybrid smallmouth spotted bass. They call them the mean mouth. They're pretty aggressive, but good quality fish. Yes. I really enjoyed fishing with Scott today. One of the things I like to do is go out with anglers that know more than me. And today, he taught me a technique that I'd have never thought of. If I'd have gone on this lake by myself, I doubt we would have caught the fish that we were able to put in the boat today. We just had 2 bites. Caught one and Scott just had a bite as well. So that bodes well for this little stretch. You know, you look at the shoreline here, it looks real gradual, but it's actually 85 feet right underneath the boat, and we're casting up into about 20, 25. And counting this down, and there's trees. A number of trees right in here, and these fish are coming out of the trees. Fish. Is it a spot?
Yep, there's your 4 species.
Yeah, 4 species in one day.
Was he on the bottom?
He ate pretty far in, and he ate pretty aggressively.
Yeah, but I mean, did you let it?
Yeah, I didn't let it sink all the way to the bottom, but look at that. Every fish is solid. Another spot today. That's 4 species of bass we've caught so far. It's amazing.
You know, I knew today when I went into this deal that Steve coming down from the north, he's a walleye guy, he's a smallmouth guy, he fishes all that stuff up there. And I know one of the main baits in his arsenal was a grub. And to come down here, this was just like handing him a piece of cake. I mean, he was waiting to chew on it because, I mean, it was right up his alley. So he was not out of his zone here. The only thing that I think got him at first was maybe sitting in 100-something feet of water and throwing at these deep trees and everything. But hey, he caught on quick and he proved it today.
Well, Scott, you want the good news or the bad news?
Oh, there's never bad news when it comes to fishing other than quitting.
I like your head.
There's never bad news.
Well, the good news is we got tomorrow, and we're going to fish trout tomorrow.
Perfect.
The bad news is we've run out of time for bass.
That's okay.
So
as long as we got trout.
Cool technique.
Something to do.
That was a lot of fun today.
Cool deal.
And yeah, I'm in love with Table Rock. I think it's a cool body of water, and to catch 4 different species of bass in one day.
That's what's awesome.
That's cool.
That's what we talked about last night. We thought we could do it, and we did it.
We did it under tough conditions. I mean, I thought I saw a cloud today.
I think that was a jet poo.
Let's go grab dinner.
Let's do it.
And get out tomorrow morning.
Sounds great. You know, today was a lot of fun. And even though this was my method, this was my game, this was my bait, this is the way that I like to fish, I learned something today. But hey, we've still got a trout trip. We've still got a rematch. Looking forward to it.
I'm Captain George Mitchell. This is Coastal Chaos.
Hey, when it comes to offshore fishing, you always want to be prepared. Hey, being prepared is where it's at. You want to make sure that you got everything you need for any given instance. You never know when that snapper bite might turn into that dolphin bite. I set my new boat up to accommodate these Plano boxes in a number of different sizes. I've got my everyday medium circle hook box. I've got another one to accommodate most of my leads, one for hardware, but my boat can hold 12 of these things, but I got 20 of them. I've got the stuff that I want to move around for either the fall or maybe even the winter wahoo bite. For larger items, we've got the next size up waterproof box. This will be a wintertime sailfish box. My deeper water stuff like say the butterfly jigs or the suspending jigs or even the tremblers, these things are all set up in here. And again, I put the dividers in to make fit just right. The beauty of these things is you can compartmentalize them to fit what you want. This is my wintertime mackerel box. Now, it's not going to be with me in the summer, but I can slide it right into place when those mackerel show up. The Plano Guide series with the O-ring and the positive latching system really keeps stuff dry. Check this out, into the bait well. Being prepared with lots of spares is one thing, but knowing that everything is safe and secure, that's paramount. Coastal Chaos, tips for serious saltwater anglers.